Crowded dance floors, VIP tables selling for $5,000 a night, bars pouring thousands of drinks before midnight. On paper, it looks like one of the easiest businesses in America to get rich from. Then one weekend, the music stops, the liquor distributors stop delivering, payroll bounces, the landlord changes the locks, and another nightclub disappears almost overnight. How does a business packed with hundreds of paying customers collapse so fast? Because in the nightclub industry, the crowd is often the biggest illusion. The founder wasn't scaling profit. He was subsidizing popularity. Every packed Friday night looked like success, but behind the flashing lights, every new customer pushed the business a little closer to running out of cash. It's one of the biggest business paradoxes you'll ever see. The busier a nightclub becomes, the easier it is to mistake revenue for wealth. If you're thinking about opening a nightclub, investing in one, or simply wondering why so many famous clubs disappear despite looking unstoppable, you need to understand one brutal truth. In this industry, the most dangerous owner isn't the one with an empty dance floor. It's the one with a full house who thinks he's making money. Most people believe nightclubs make their fortune from alcohol. They're only half right. Alcohol has incredible markups. A bottle of premium vodka that costs around $30 wholesale can generate well over $400 once it's sold as individual cocktails. Champagne bottle service is even crazier. A bottle purchased for under $200 might sell for $1,500 or even $3,000 in elite clubs across Las Vegas or Miami. Looking at those numbers, anyone would assume nightclub owners are printing cash. But that's exactly where the trap begins. Gross margin isn't profit. It's simply the money left before the real bills arrive. Here's the part nobody sees. The music isn't free. The security isn't free. The bartenders, DJs, promoters, insurance, rent, lighting systems, liquor licenses, marketing, cleaning crews, payment processing fees, repairs, and local entertainment taxes all show up before the owner ever pays himself. In cities like New York, Los Angeles, Miami, or Las Vegas, commercial rent alone can reach hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. Add celebrity DJs charging anywhere from $50,000 to over $500,000 for a single appearance, and suddenly one busy weekend has to pay for an enormous mountain of fixed costs before it creates a single dollar of actual profit. Most entrepreneurs fail right here. They confuse high sales with a healthy business. Revenue impresses Instagram. Cash flow decides whether the lights stay on. To understand why, look at one of the most famous nightclub companies in America. Tao Group Hospitality didn't become a multi-billion-dollar entertainment company because it sold the most drinks. It built an ecosystem. Restaurants fed customers into lounges. Lounges pushed guests toward nightclubs. VIP experiences generated premium spending. Hotels partnered with venues. Every customer could spend money multiple times in different businesses. The nightclub wasn't operating alone. It was part of a machine designed to increase customer lifetime value. That's completely different from the average independent nightclub depending on 2 profitable nights every week. Now compare that with thousands of local clubs across America. Most only have Friday and Saturday to generate enough revenue to survive the entire week. Monday through Thursday, the building still consumes money. Rent continues. Salaries continue. Insurance continues. Utilities continue. Debt payments continue. The building doesn't care whether customers show up. The expenses never take a night off. Here's something even more surprising. According to industry estimates, many independent nightclubs generate between 50 and 70% of their weekly revenue during just 2 nights. Think about that. The entire business depends on roughly 16 operating hours every week. One snowstorm, one major sporting event, one city restriction, one weather disaster, one viral competitor opening nearby. Suddenly, the week's profit disappears before the doors even open. Now, the story gets worse. Imagine your club becomes the hottest place in town. Every weekend, people line up around the block. Sounds perfect, right? Actually, this is where many owners unknowingly begin destroying their own business. The tragedy isn't that they fail at business. The tragedy is that they succeed at the wrong thing. The first 100 customers are easy. Your staff knows everyone. Service is fast. Drinks arrive quickly. Security controls the entrance. Bartenders remember regulars. The atmosphere feels exclusive. Customers leave happy and tell their friends. Every new guest improves your reputation. But the 1,000th customer changes everything. Now bartenders can't keep up. Security lines lines stretch outside. Bathrooms become overcrowded. Air conditioning struggles to cool the room. Glasses break faster than staff can replace them. Fights become more likely because alcohol consumption rises while supervision per customer falls. One viral social media video showing poor service can undo months of expensive marketing in a single night. The economics of customer number 10 and customer number 1000 are completely different, yet many owners treat them exactly the same. Look at LIV Miami, Omnia Las Vegas, or XS Las Vegas. These clubs didn't become legendary simply because they packed more people inside. They invested millions into logistics that guests never notice. Advanced lighting systems, massive security teams, sophisticated reservation software, hundreds of trained employees, carefully designed crowd movement, luxury customer service, high-end sound engineering. These aren't decorations. They're systems built to prevent operational collapse when thousands of guests arrive at once. A smaller independent owner often sees only the packed room and copies the marketing. They don't copy the infrastructure because infrastructure is expensive. That's where the math quietly starts working against them. Every successful Friday convinces them to spend more on promoters, more on celebrity appearances, more on influencer campaigns, more on expensive renovations designed to keep the hype alive. But here's the hidden problem. Customer expectations rise faster than revenue. Once guests experience bottle presentations with fireworks, celebrity DJs, premium lighting shows, luxury furniture, and flawless service, they expect it every single visit. You can't downgrade the experience without hurting your reputation. Success becomes expensive to maintain. Think about that for a second. Growth isn't increasing your income anymore. Growth is increasing your obligations. And that's exactly where most nightclub owners stop behaving like investors and start behaving like entertainers. They begin chasing applause instead of margins. Every decision becomes about looking bigger rather than becoming stronger. That's the moment the business quietly enters dangerous territory because they aren't fighting competitors anymore. They're fighting their own business model. They don't notice it at first because the money is still coming in. Friday nights are sold out. Saturday nights are even bigger. The POS system keeps printing receipts. VIP hosts are posting videos of champagne parades all over Instagram. From the outside, it looks like the club has finally made it. But revenue is only one side of the equation. The other side, the cost to keep producing that experience, is growing even faster. That's when I stopped looking at nightclub revenue and started looking at something almost nobody talks about: cost to serve. Instead of asking, how much money does each customer bring in? Ask a different question. How much does each additional customer cost to handle without damaging the experience? That single question changes everything. The first few hundred guests are incredibly profitable because your systems still have spare capacity. Your bartenders aren't overwhelmed. Security isn't stretched thin. Cleaning crews can keep up. But every guest after that pushes the operation closer to its breaking point. At some point, one extra customer adds less profit than the extra cost required to serve them. Think of it like a cruise ship. If you add 10 more passengers, nothing changes. Add 1,000 more without making the ship bigger, and suddenly you're running out of food, cabins, staff, and safety equipment. The problem isn't demand. The problem is capacity. Nightclubs operate exactly the same way. Here's where the economics become brutal. To maintain the same level of service during higher volume, owners usually hire more security, more bartenders, more barbacks, more servers, more cleaning staff, more managers, and more maintenance crews. Over time, wages start appearing. Employee turnover rises because the work becomes more stressful. New hires require training. Insurance premiums can increase. Equipment wears out faster. Ice machines, refrigeration units, sound systems, and POS terminals are suddenly operating at maximum capacity every weekend. None of those costs show up in flashy promotional videos, but every one of them shows up on the income statement. Here's the warning almost nobody sees. The busiest nightclub in town isn't always the most profitable. Sometimes it's simply the one spending the fastest. Then there's inventory shrinkage, one of the industry's biggest silent profit killers. Alcohol is one of the easiest products to steal. A free drink for a friend, a bartender overpouring, a bottle that mysteriously disappears, cash transactions that never reach the register. Industry consultants estimate that poor inventory controls can cost bars and nightclubs several percentage points of annual revenue. That sounds small until you realize a club doing $4 million in annual sales could lose well into six figures without anyone smashing a window or robbing the safe. Now layer on promotions. Many clubs pay promoters based on attendance. Free entry, free drinks for women, complimentary VIP tables, discount packages. The venue looks packed, which attracts more paying guests, but the room isn't as profitable as it appears. The crowd creates social proof, yet a surprising percentage of people inside may be generating little or no profit. The owner celebrates a full dance floor while unknowingly compressing margins. This is exactly why appearances can become dangerous. Humans assume busy equals successful. Investors do it, customers do it, even owners do it. But business doesn't reward appearances. Business rewards unit economics. Las Vegas offers a perfect example. During peak weekends, elite clubs can generate extraordinary revenue in a single night, but they also spend enormous amounts securing world-famous DJs. Artists like Calvin Harris, Tiesto, or Martin Garrix have reportedly earned hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in some cases, well over $1 million for high-profile residencies and special events. Those performances attract massive crowds, but they're calculated investments backed by large hospitality groups with multiple revenue streams. An independent owner trying to imitate that strategy without the same financial engine can destroy months of profits in one weekend. Now, let's look at the real disease hiding underneath all of this. It's something economists call diseconomies of scale. Most people understand economies of scale. Build more, produce more, and your cost per unit usually falls. That's why companies like Costco or Walmart become incredibly efficient as they grow. Nightclubs often experience the opposite after a certain point. More customers don't automatically lower costs. They create more complexity, more coordination, more risk, more supervision, more failures. Growth stops making the business simpler and starts making it harder. I call it the complexity tax. Every new employee creates another communication channel. Every new VIP reservation creates another chance for mistakes. Every celebrity event increases security requirements. Every expansion adds another layer of management. None of these problems appear overnight. They accumulate quietly until one weekend everything starts breaking at once. And when that happens, customers notice immediately. A 30-minute wait for drinks becomes angry online reviews. Overcrowding becomes bad press. One security incident becomes local news. A viral TikTok showing chaos inside your venue reaches millions of people before you've even finished cleaning up the next morning. Reputation, one of your most valuable assets, begins working against you. Here's the cruel irony. Owners usually respond by spending even more money. They hire another promoter, bring in a bigger DJ, launch another marketing campaign, redesign the interior, add more VIP packages. They believe demand is the problem because demand is the only thing they can see. But demand was never the problem. The business model was. Growth doesn't repair weak economics. It exposes them. Every new customer simply magnifies whatever system already exists. If the operation is efficient, growth creates wealth. If the operation is inefficient, growth accelerates losses. That's exactly what happened to countless entertainment businesses that expanded too aggressively. They believed more volume would eventually smooth out operational problems. Instead, the additional volume multiplied every hidden weakness until cash flow collapsed under its own weight. By the time owners finally recognize what's happening, it's usually too late. Payroll is due. Suppliers want payment. Tax bills arrive. Loan repayments don't stop because the dance floor looked amazing on Instagram. They weren't victims of bad luck. They became victims of their own math. And the numbers never negotiate. You remember those packed dance floors we started with? The line wrapping around the block. The VIP tables selling out before sunset. The owner walking through the crowd believing he'd finally built the club everyone dreamed about. Today, those speakers are silent. The bar is empty. The lights that once flashed until 4 in the morning are collecting dust. The business didn't slowly fade away. It simply reached the point where the math refused to cooperate. The reality is that most people completely misunderstand why nightclubs fail. They blame changing music trends. They blame the economy. They blame younger generations drinking less alcohol. Those factors matter, but they're rarely the real cause. The biggest threat is almost always hidden inside the business itself. A nightclub doesn't usually collapse because customers stop coming. It collapses because the cost of creating the experience grows faster than the money that experience produces. Take Studio 54. It became one of the most famous nightclubs in history. Celebrities, politicians, athletes, and musicians all wanted to get through its doors. It wasn't a demand problem. The club generated enormous attention and incredible revenue. But behind the glamour came financial mismanagement, tax fraud, and operational decisions that eventually helped destroy the business. The dance floor looked invincible. The balance sheet told a completely different story. Even modern operators have learned this lesson. Companies like Tao Group Hospitality don't simply own nightclubs anymore. They own restaurants, rooftops, beach clubs, lounges, hotels, and entertainment venues. Why? Because they understand one of the oldest rules in business: diversification reduces risk. If nightclub traffic slows during part of the year, other businesses continue generating cash flow. They're not depending on 2 nights every week to pay 12 months of bills. Here's the final pattern interrupt. If your business only survives when everything goes perfectly, you don't own a business. You own a gamble. Now, imagine 2 nightclub owners. The first spends every dollar chasing appearances, bigger DJs, louder marketing, more influencers, more expensive furniture. Every profitable month immediately becomes another excuse to spend more money. Customers think the club is booming. Banks see strong revenue. Social media sees success. But underneath, cash reserves are disappearing. One bad season, one liquor license issue, one recession, or one unexpected repair is enough to push the business over the edge. The second owner does something much less exciting. He negotiates better supplier contracts, tracks liquor inventory every night, studies labor costs by the hour instead of by the week, limits debt, builds cash reserves, invests in systems instead of hype. His club doesn't always look like the hottest venue in the city, but year after year, it keeps producing something far more valuable than attention: profit. That's the difference between operating an entertainment business and owning an asset. This is also why private equity firms and experienced hospitality investors rarely get distracted by packed dance floors. They focus on EBITDA, occupancy costs, labor percentages, debt service, customer acquisition costs, and free cash flow. They know a club generating $8 million in revenue can be worth less than a competitor making half that amount if the first business has terrible margins. That's one of the hardest lessons in entrepreneurship. Revenue tells you how popular you are. Profit tells you whether you'll survive. Cash flow tells you whether you'll be alive next month. The nightclub industry teaches this lesson faster than almost any other business because everything is amplified. Rent is higher. Payroll is higher. Customer expectations are higher. Regulations are stricter. Alcohol liability is enormous. Every weekend feels like a championship game, and every mistake is expensive. So if you're thinking about opening a nightclub, don't start by asking how many customers you can attract. Start by asking how many customers your systems can serve profitably, because growth without capacity is just controlled failure. Growth without cash flow is borrowed time, and growth without margins is simply an expensive illusion. History is filled with entrepreneurs who had incredible vision. They worked harder than everyone else. They sacrificed sleep, relationships, and years of their lives chasing the dream of building something iconic. Many of them achieved exactly what they wanted. They built the hottest venue in town. What they didn't build was a business capable of surviving its own success. That's the real cost of the climb. You can outwork your competitors. You can outmarket your competitors. You can even become the most popular nightclub in your city. But you cannot outwork bad unit economics. You cannot outmarket negative cash flow. And you cannot outrun the math. The next time you walk past a nightclub with a line around the block, don't ask yourself how much money it's making. Ask yourself a harder question. How much money is it keeping? Because that's the number that decides whether those lights are still on 5 years from now. Build for the math.